And I'm right back. So we need to put these in a space that'll fit. And so the first thing we're going to do is we'll switch back to our layout one. So far I haven't had you guys change pages yet. So we're going to do that for the first time. So I'm going to right click on the layout here. We're going to go to Page Setup Manager. We're going to go to Modify and then set this to a PDF. Microsoft Print to PDF is usually pretty reliable. Or actually, not that one. It's the Adobe one. Let's do DWG to PDF. We'll do 17 by 11. But that's going to be Arch. What's the yeah, B right here, 18 by 12. Let's do Arch C. Except we want 24 by 18. Okay, so make sure it's that landscape Arch C. We'll go ahead and hit OK, and our paper size is going to change. So that's how we end up with different paper sizes here. And you can notice that this is now much smaller on there because we're using a much larger sheet. Our floor plan here is still at 1/4 inch. I'm completely happy with this, but we'll go ahead and leave this here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move it up here. Actually, first thing we need to do is we need to create our title block. So, title blocks are one of those things that I've mentioned a couple times to you guys, like, hey, if you guys are doing this, you're going to run into, everyone's going to do it slightly differently. It's going to, sometimes in this case, it's also going to depend on your sheet size. Some places, especially if you have a full size, a full size sheet, you might see a title block where the entire you've got a huge column here on the right, huge thing on the bottom. So there's a whole variety. What's important, the bare minimum that you need for our class is what we're going to put together here, which is going to be your name, the project, the page number. That's all I'm going to worry about for this. All right. The principles that you can take from this are things that you should be able to duplicate in anything else. So let me just double check our size. We get out of there. So when we did this right here, this is kind of like our good text height right there for a lot of our wording, which is a 1/16 of an inch. So if I double that, we're going to make all of our lines here an 1/8 inch tall. So I'm just going to do this real quick. I'm going to make sure you, well, I think I should probably figure out how wide we're going to make this. Let's make it 5 inches wide, and we'll just have a little box down here. But if you need more, you can always expand upon this. It's just the principle of putting down these lines. So I'm going to offset this an 1/8 inch. No, wait. Did I get that right? No, that's not right. That's a 1/16 plus a 1/16 plus a 1/16. So 3/16. So we'll do these 3/16. Nope, that was 3/6. Let's make it a full 1/4. That doesn't feel right. So we'll do 2 lines there. No, it still feels small. We'll go with it though. You can adjust as you need to. Maybe I'll come back after a minute. I'm going to make the whole page size indicator a full inch. Yeah, that's too tall. Let's make these 1/2 inch. So offset 1/2 inch. The next thing we'll do is we'll get, let me double check what our sizes are here. Let's stay on that. We'll get label, single line. So this will be our page number right here. We'll justify center. So we'll be right here in the center. I'm going to call this A101. We're actually going to change this font size though because it's too small, but that's just a placeholder for now. Actually, let's go ahead and make that one. So we did an inch right there. So we're going to create one more font size. It's not going to be annotative. So we'll call this one page, nope, not page num. And we're going to make this one 3/4 of an inch tall, so it's nice and big. And we will assign this page num. So this is a 1 inch tall space, 3/4 inches. So I'm going to be able to move this down, 7/8 right there should be the middle. And then let's see, we need, I believe it's, let's try note. If I get it wrong, we'll redo it. So we'll do one for name. Oops, that's centered. Try that again. Single line, justify. This one I actually want to be left justified. So we'll place this here. This will be name. And then we'll do one more line that's label. We'll actually use the label again. And then this is John Doe, the most famous student in this class. Okay. We'll move this down. Call out a good 3/16. Nope, that was 3/6 again. So 3/16. And then to actually place this in, what I'm going to do is a move, and I'm going to go down another 1/8. And then we're going to move both of these over 1/4 inch. And then we'll move this one back 1/4 inch. Oh, sorry, no, back 1/8. I don't want it back that far. 1/8. Okay. So once I've got that, I can CO from this corner down. We'll change this one from name to project. And this is going to be what? Milestone 4. Milestone 4. We will. Yeah, that was way too wide. So, dirt simple title block if you need it. If you need to make a larger title block, you can make a larger title block. There's nothing special to it. You just need to figure out what fields you need in and then build from there. When you are placing stuff, try to keep it inside of these dashed lines. The dashed lines are there as a warning that that is where printers may not print to. So typically try and keep it just inside of those lines. So that'll give us our sheet number. That'll give us, so now we've got our floor plan here. So let's go ahead and put this here. There's two schools of thought I've read or experienced in terms of working with laying out construction documents. There's the first that says you do everything left to right because that's how you would read it. The second one says you would do it right to left because that's what you would see as you're flipping through, is the first drawing is here. I don't particularly care which way you do it. So as long as you choose one and you're consistent with it. So I'm going to go ahead and make this floor plan my first drawing. And then we'll switch back over here. So we've got all these things. So we'll do our section cut second. So what I'm going to do, instead of doing a whole bunch of work, is what I do best is be lazy. So I'm going to copy this over. And then we'll double click in here, and then make sure you don't roll the mouse wheel. You just hold down the middle mouse. And I'm going to try and keep this sort of visually aligned with that. And I'll double click away, and we'll have to resize this. And we'll also have to shorten this up a little bit. And do that. Double check our drawing here. So we have, this one was up. So let's pull up our properties. Oop, not prop. Okay, so we'll select both of these. This is now page number A101 is what we marked that is, and this is going to be drawing number 2. So we've got those set up. Let's hop back over here, update this, and again, I could have made this a dynamic one as well, and then we'll rename this to interior section east. Same scale. Let's go ahead and do the same. Oh, and then we do have some of our other drawings peeking in. So I'm just going to shrink this down a little tiny bit, hide that, and we're good to go. Okay. And then again, we'll copy this straight over, keeping it in line. And then we'll just slide this over to there. Of course, this one's a little bit wider than I made that one. I'm trying to keep it visually close, especially when you slide. It's hard to do that, so it's not going to be perfect every time. Don't worry about it. No one's going to be sitting there with like a ruler going, oh, it's a 64th of an inch off. It doesn't matter. Or at least don't waste your time worried about that. This is going to be our interior section for the north. And let's go ahead and update those to A101, oops, A101, drawing 3. Okay, so we've got those updated. And then let's go to our next page. So I'm going to leave this here. Typically, we would work. This wouldn't be how we would lay this out. I'll just say that. Usually, you're working with an actual floor plan and not 2 weirdly small rooms. So usually, this whole first sheet would be your floor plan. Maybe you'd include an RCP. We don't have enough content, so I'm just kind of winging this part of it. But let's go ahead and make this second sheet. We'll go ahead and zap that. And what instead we'll do is we'll come over here and we will do the same process. So I'm actually gonna delete this page. We'll save ourselves a few steps here. And instead I'll right click on this layout and we will move or copy, and then we'll check create a copy, move to end. So we'll create another layout here that is effectively the same. I'm just gonna rename this to layout 2 again. We'll update our page number. So this is now A102. And then this is going to be where we throw our elevations. So I'm going to leave the... I'll leave this here. And what I'll do is I'll do view. This is how you actually... I haven't actually shown you guys how to insert viewports. So, no. I think viewports is one of those things I only know how to do. If you just type viewport, oops, viewports. Okay, so we'll do a single viewport. I'm just going to guess the size. It's not going to be super big. We'll make sure we assign this to the viewports layer so it doesn't print. We will double click in here, hide that. Again, we'll go to 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to start here. And then we will resize this. So actually, let's move this into place. Nope. There we go. So when we're doing these are going to be parts of sets. So I'm not going to change these the way that we did with the other thing. So actually I'm going to copy that CO mode multiple. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm already disappointed in myself because I know I didn't make it wide enough for that part. So that's my bad. So I'm going to delete those two because I'll have to do it again. I might as well just reuse the work. Okay. And then let's go ahead and start naming these two. So this is bedroom BDRM, bedroom LF North. This is BDRM LF East. And then now that we have that figured out, we can copy both of these over here. Keep them in a straight line. This will be south, and this will be west. And then we'll actually move these. So there's your south. And there's your west. Theoretically, one could be fancy and just go, well, they're all in a line. So why don't you just do that? And honestly, I don't have a good reason why I don't do it, except just every once in a while that doesn't work out. So there's no reason that for the second set I couldn't just do this. Come on. Where I would take these, put the line right there, and then just shift this entire thing. So this is entirely possible if you would like to do this, except that that's not the north. So I would have to shift all of these over, and this is the kitchen. I love north. And we'll do multiple again. And we'll just drop one of these off at each way. This is kitchen elevation east, kitchen elevation south, and kitchen elevation west. Okay, so either of those is completely fine. And then again, I'm gonna. So this is backwards to the way that, this is backwards a little bit. So depending on which way I'd want to do it, but I just have to make sure that I number these consistent with what matches on the drawing. So when I go back over here, when I turn on my elevation markers, we see that we go northeast, southwest with these numbers. So that's the way that I've set that up. So if I was going to go this way, I would have these marked in this direction. So if you're doing the counting backwards way, you'd have to reverse it. Northeast, southwest, and then northeast, southwest. So again, I'm fine with you doing either in my classes. Again, just like everything else, I think I think each side has merit on this particular point. What I want to see is consistency. So don't actually do this where you have one set going 1, 2, 3, 4, and the other set going 4, 3, 2, 1, or vice versa. But this is one set of drawings. This is the second set, so our bedroom is going to be our first set. So let's go ahead and go on here. We'll load up properties, and this is going to be A102, and this is the bedroom was drawing set 1. This is A102, and this kitchen was drawing set number 2. Okay. Let's see. We're going to cover a couple other things, but you guys have a milestone to work on, so I'm not going to jam anything more into this. but we have covered pretty much everything I wanted to get to here. The only thing that we're missing are reflected ceiling plans. Which are pretty easy to do, so let's just go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and hide our doors, hide our windows, hide our furniture, basically hide everything. Sections, floor upper, built-in plumbing. Okay, so right now we're left with this right here, which is basically just our walls. I'll copy and paste this down here. And then I talked briefly in one of the previous videos about how when we're looking at a section plan, we're kind of looking at 3 or 4 feet down. When we're looking at a section cut, we're looking at about 6 feet up. So the typical convention when you're doing that is to not include windows. So we're going to go ahead and edit out our windows from here real quick. So we'll just do that. And then fillet tool, radius 0 inches. And we'll do multiple. And then we'll just kind of merge these all back together. So anyway, leaving out the windows sort of helps you identify where the room spaces are. Leaving out the doors can also kind of help with that. But for this, okay, so when you're drawing things in this, I don't know, let's just do circles in the middle of the room. You kind of want to put the shape of what the light is if it's on the ceiling. So I'm just going to do, maybe if I wasn't already hit 22 minutes, I'd be like, okay, let's do a ceiling fan, but we're not. So I'm just going to do a 6-inch. We'll call it just a sconce or something in the center of the room there. And then maybe we want something a little bit fancier in the kitchen. So we have a, let's say a 4-foot. Nope. We have a 4-foot by 2-foot. Oops, that was 2 inches, 2-foot, 4-foot CL, with a just your boring standard like fluorescent ceiling light. I'm going to offset the trim on this 1 inch. We will center it in the kitchen. Right. Oh, was that centered? That was pretty close, wasn't it? And then we'll pull this back maybe 5 feet. No, 5 feet's too much. What, 3 feet? Let's do 3 feet. That's pretty good. So those will be our lights there. And then we need to do our wiring as well. I'm not going to get into doing like the wiring symbols today either. This is probably enough for you guys at this point. Actually, just for the sake of doing it, let's go ahead and make 2 lights over here. So I'm gonna copy this up to, let's do 1 foot. Nope, that was 1 inch. 1 foot, 2 feet. Great. And then we'll move this one down 2 feet. And this is just so I can show you in case you have multiple things. So we'll grab the arc right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bounce these between each other. So it's going to have a little arc like that. And then eventually you'll get to the wall over here. And there would be a switch there, but again, I'm not doing electrical switches right now. But this is where the switch would be for the lights that are tied to this room. And so when we get to that point, you will have electrical things where it goes, okay, the switch on the left handles these lights, the switch on the right handles these lights. All we're doing for now, though, is just get used to kind of doing something like this. Oh, and then that was drawn wrong. It should connect, so I should have gone from here to here. So I'll zap those 2 sections. We'll clear that. And then these are also going to be a new layer. So we'll do a layer for electrical, which I don't think we have yet. Electrical, I can spell. And then we'll go ahead and make this yellow, and then we'll do electrical wire. And then that's also going to be yellow, but I'm going to also make it the hidden. Okay. So then this will be electrical hidden. And then this will be electrical. And then the kitchen, you know, again, it's going to point to where it's connected to. So maybe you have the switches back here, for example, in this kitchen. So it could be in a different spot than directly against a wall. We'll clean this up. And there we go. If you had, say, under cabinet lighting over here, then that would be something else you might show. If that was the case, I would actually do another line here to indicate that our view is kind of down and we're viewing through there to show the under cabinet lighting. So, but I would be something that, again, we start out with a lot of generalizations and then you end up putting notes everywhere on your docs. That's just kind of how it goes. Okay, so the only other thing we have to do here is we have to, have to fill in these just so that we don't have like open spaces right there. And then we'll go ahead and hatch here. And then we'll do a little bit of cleanup. We'll send this hatch to our wall fill. And then let's go ahead and add that drawing now that we have it. So again, this would be something where more typically we'd have a sheet dedicated to this, but for the sake of brevity in here, we're just going to do RCP. Unless I can spell ceiling right, reflected. Ceiling, no, yeah, okay. And then again, we'll update the drawing number, so this will be drawing number 4. Let's see here. Do we have anything else? Oh, wait a second. Yeah, we have to move this. That's what we've got to do. Okay. Okay. Oh, right. We still need to filter everything back out. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn everything back on. So everything's on. Ooh. No, don't switch to the layer. Okay. So we have everything on now, and everything looks a mess, right? So let's talk about what we're actually showing in floor plans. So this right here is too cluttered. We don't want to actually just roll with everything in all at once like that. So what we might have is we'd start out with a standard floor plan, and then we would create another one here. And maybe this one is going to be our furniture plan. So let's, I'll just move it. So we've got the great big mess here. We'll rename this one to furniture plan. We'll upgrade our drawing number to 5. And so then in this drawing, because I no longer need to show my furniture or my built-ins, this is where I'll freeze those. So on this drawing, I'm going to freeze my built-ins. Means I'm going to freeze the plumbing, because I don't need to show that. I can freeze my my upper in that case. And then I've got my furniture as well. So that's how and then in this drawing, I don't need to show all of my dimensions again. I especially don't need, so I don't need my exterior dimensions. I don't need my, or the interior too. My elevation markers are already up here. But maybe in this case, I'm going to leave the section cut markers in this one, and I'll hide the elevation markers in that one, so that I just kind of clean up these drawings. So section cuts are gone in, oh no, sorry, section cuts are gone here, but elevation markers, because they overlap. Oops. I cannot click on that today. All right. And then we can get rid of the room labels in here as well. Which, did I put them on a layer? Yes. Okay, there we go. So then in that case, I would come back over here. I don't need to have things redundant, so I can hide my sections in here and clean that space up. So we're showing the same thing, and you will end up doing this. You'll have sometimes multiple different layers of things going on. Uh, excuse me. Let's see. I think that's all I'm going to jam you guys up with today. That's a second over 30-minute video. So we will have another, I think, one more video next week where I'll get into schedules and we'll do door and window symbols. Yeah, so by the end of your milestone for this week, which is a pretty big milestone, but I'm trying to get you guys ready for next week, you should have all of your elevations, your section cuts, two floor plans, and a reflected ceiling plan, all put together, along with electrical and some generic lights are fine. So yeah, try and get something as close to this as you can this week. The better you do, the more prepared you'll be for next week. See you guys in class.